What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In this one, I'm going to be continuing to show you how to make the security breach atrium in Minecraft. This is part 29, and in this one, we're going to be finishing off this front wall, along with starting to mark the ceiling, which is just getting these outer blue terracotta, like rectangles, filled, and also these beams placed here on the inside. We don't fill in the blue wool yet because of the pattern that's going on, but because I do want to explain that kind of in more detail than just what I would have been able to do with the time of this. Anyway, that's all. So with that being said, enjoy the tutorial, and I will catch you on the flip side. We're getting close. Alright, so, just get out magenta concrete to start here. This is going to be a fun old time. We're going to start with the mazer size side, which I'm calling the right. I know I've been doing it the entire opposite for the last, like, 6 parts. But, because of the fact that we're looking towards the stage now, it's the right. So, if you head over to this pillar here, and pretty much directly above the magenta that we already have placed here, I actually want to go to the back side of this pillar, and I'm going to take the inner row and extend it back an additional 3, like so. So, if you see what I mean by that. You'll then go back diagonally left, back diagonally left, back diagonally left by 2, left, back diagonally left, back diagonally left, back diagonally left, 3, back diagonally left, and then left by 6, back diagonally left, and then left by, what is that, 7? I'm really bad at counting. Yes, it is 7, though. Back diagonally left, back diagonally left, and then just back by 2, no diagonal. Back diagonally left, back, why is this switching so much? Whatever. Back diagonally left, back, it's gonna switch again. Back diagonally left 2, back diagonally left, not yet? Okay, back 2, back diagonally left, back diagonally left, back diagonally left, back diagonally left again, back diagonally left, you'll never guess it, left, back diagonally left by 2, please make this end, back diagonally left, oh my lord, left, back diagonally left by 3, back diagonally left by 4, back diagonally left, we're almost done this side, then left by 10, back diagonally left by 1, then left by 12, is that? Yes. And then finally, we'll just go back diagonally left by 1. If you want a basis to make sure you're correct, just get out a random placeholder block, and if you place 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 placeholders in front, you'll end up in line with the wall. And if you end up counting left of that, I guess just to the left of that front one, place 3, 4, 5, 6, you'll be behind 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you'll be behind this bamboo plank here. Cool. And then you can remove those placeholders. You ready for round 2? This one's going to be so much more fun. Head to the right side this time. And we're going to take this overhanging bit of the wall where I guess you have those sea lanterns and whatnot. And I'm going to just take this bottom magenta below them. And we're going to go back diagonally right, back 2, back diagonally right, back diagonally right, good lord, back diagonally right, back diagonally right, back diagonally right, back diagonally right by 4, back diagonally right, and then right by 6, back diagonally right, right by 7, right? Yes. Always like to confirm. Back diagonally right, and then right by 2. Then back 1. Is that inverted from the... It is, I think. Whatever. Back diagonally right. Back... I don't get paid enough to ask. Back diagonally right. Back. Back diagonally right. Back. Back diagonally right by 2. Back. Back diagonally right. Back 2. Back diagonally right. Back. Back diagonally right. Back. Back diagonally right. Right. Back diagonally right. Right. Back diagonally right. And right again. Back diagonally right. Right 2. Back diagonally right. Okay. And then right 1. Back diagonally right and right 3. Back diagonally right and right by 4. Back diagonally right and then right by 10. Back diagonally right and then right by 12. And then finally, I think just back diagonally right once more. And again, we can do the same check here. You're placing... It should be the same, I think, numbers in total. 7 oak planks in front. 4, 5, 6, 7, or I guess just your placeholder. And then 7 to the right. Correction, 6 to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, okay, it is 6 to the right. I just am bad at math. Now what we can do is take these back magentas and connect them together. I'm going to get rid of the oak planks because they're bothering me. What do we do first? The, like, floor of the area below you kind of want to fill in. So I guess if you just take this bottom row of magenta and really extend it back, you want to just fill in what should be a row underneath the marker you placed. If it ends up being a little bit lower, that's probably just because you have the marker higher or something, but it should just be just below it. And yeah, hopefully everyone is having a good day or night. I am for the most part. I'm really putting off recording the next refresh. Like, I should have done that instead of recording 2 of these parts, but it's Outback, and not that I'm worried about it, it's a big building. And it's a lot of details and stuff, so it's gonna take a while, but I'll probably end up saving it for, like, whenever I record again or something, which would be not tomorrow, but the day after. At least as of recording this, not uploading. But maybe uploading, who knows. Might also apply the same. But it also sucks because other than refresh builds, I have no city tutorials, basically. I've got a couple houses and stuff, but I just recorded a suburban house, and the only modern house I have is massive, so I don't really want to do that either. And I also think I have a mansion, actually, but that speaks for itself, I think. I've been putting that one off forever, though. I made that when the pale oak blocks first came out, and I made it out of pale oak, and I was gonna, you know, make it like a cool tutorial after, just like, oh, look, I used a new block, but, I then just never recorded it, so... Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's like my current issue of just using shelves in every tutorial. I can't not use them, I don't know. They just... Although I guess the logic I was thinking about when I was using them the other day in a build is like, most of the time if I were where I'm using the shelves, I would use trapdoors anyway. Or I would leave out the detail because I wouldn't like the way that it would look with trapdoors. So I'm really just replacing the trapdoors with shelves in like 40% of the cases. Because trapdoors are definitely, I think, more useful in some situations. Not all the time, but... Because I do use trapdoors a lot. I think in a build like this, it's not as obvious, but... I do get my usages out of them. I've been trying to use new things recently. Like, I've been using hoppers and anvils and stuff as detailing. Hoppers do work really nice in some situations. I've seen anvils get used for, like, porch railings and stuff, but I just... Not really about that, exactly. Anyway, that's one of your 2 major fills for this part. Actually, there's probably more than 2, but the magenta wall that we, you know, marked out here wants to be brought up to the same height as the rest of the walls, which should all be the same height anyway, at least as far as the magenta is concerned. Yeah, so we're gonna get to it, and I'm gonna leave this in. This might just be the... probably not, actually. It's not gonna take 30 minutes to fill all this. Yeah, so after we fill this wall, I guess if you want to skip ahead, but after I finish this, we're gonna be doing all the trees and lights and stuff that are kind of on the area in front of it, and then hopefully we'll have enough time to start filling in some of the ceiling. Because, yeah, I do want to get a lot of that done. Or at least started, because it'll feel a lot better once this thing starts to get enclosed. At least from a... Just from, I guess, like a quick glance perspective. But, I mean... There are a lot of details and stuff involving the roof, but a lot of them are repetitive. Real repetitive. Like, insanely repetitive. I'm gonna try to slash fill a lot of these, because... At least a lot of the longer rows. Because... I'm trying to save time while also leaving these in the videos. I always try to leave them in, because... At least to an extent, like... You can definitely overcut a tutorial. And I think... Even if you don't want to listen to me ramble, like I know some people wouldn't, you have the option to now. And if not, just, you know, skip ahead. Wouldn't say it takes a ton more effort to do that, but... Again, I know I've asked before, I think, in this series, but just if anybody has any insights, let me know, because I feel like I'd rather have the option to just kind of continue watching the tutorial as opposed to just be forced to pause it. But who knows? Does make these series and tutorials go a lot slower in certain cases, but I really don't mind that. I get more content out of a build, so I'll take it. Especially because of, you know, the fact that I haven't really had any projects that have been reasonably sized for builds. I think something like PPT 3, I'm definitely going to push it a little bit more to be... like, have, I guess, more cuts and stuff, just because with something that big, I am going to want to fit more in a part. Rather than just extending the part length an extra 20 minutes, you know, cutting out maybe 15 of those, and then you could even add another 5 to make it 50. Just so you get more content overall, or I guess less content, but more done. Because I'm just thinking about that. Even if I split that up into segments like I have with this, it's still going to take forever. There's not really going to be any easy way to do that, I don't think, but who knows. Yeah, I might do half of this and then time-lapse the other half, or at least cut it out, because I'm not gonna lie, it's already been 3.5 minutes, and I would like to get some stuff done. I know I just said I don't like to do that, but, you know, again, just get some of it done at least, so. I'll fill up to the midway mark, yeah, that seems reasonable. And then for the lights and stuff, I'm not sure if they're symmetrical off the top of my head. We're going to act as if they're not, I think, because I just feel like that's going to be better. Because I know the wall itself is a little bit off in spots, at least from what I remember. I could be making all of that up, but who knows. It really is. Really is a janky build. One thing that I, like, immediately found with Security Breach that made it significantly harder than really any other project is when you look at it, it has so much more, like, curves and, I guess, more organic shapes to it rather than something like Poppy Playtime, which, sure, might have a curved roof or two, but beyond that, it doesn't really have any crazy room shapes like this one, you know? But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna cut the rest of this out of the video just to save a little bit of time. I do apologize. I know I really just contradicted myself so hard by being like, hey, I don't like to do that, and then now I'm gonna do it. But yeah, I'm gonna try to... I do want to try to fit some stuff, more stuff in this part, as I mentioned, to an extent. And yeah, I'll be back in, like, probably 2 minutes. It really shouldn't be that long. I mean, we're more than halfway there, so... Alright, so after all of that, you should have this, and wow, yeah, that does definitely make our Atrium feel a little bit more finished. We're gonna start for this part with all of the trees first, and then we're gonna do all of the lights last, or I guess after, because, yeah. So for the trees, you should know the drill here. You're getting out mud brick walls, waxed weathered cut copper slabs, decorated pots, and glow item frames. I just want to mark them all first, because as per usual, all of them are the same. So we're starting from the left, and we're just going to kind of work our way around here. Where you have this 2x3, the sandstone door, you're going to end up being left of that, and I guess a better thing to use would be this corner here. And if you're taking the rows of 2 that are going left to right, you're going to take the third, or the final row, so first, second, third, count to the third magenta concrete in front, and just place a mud brick wall for now. Next one is going to be that right angle corner. If you just keep heading right, you'll see this part where you have 3 across the front and then just 1 more going back. From the corner of this, you're going to count to the right by 3 and place a mud brick wall there. Next one will be, it's almost like the next kind of corner where it switches directions. It's pretty obvious where it does. You can see here you're heading backwards and then boop, you'll start heading across again suddenly. If you're, again, taking the area where you're going across, you'll take the, not any of the rows of 2, but this row of 3. You'll take the leftmost magenta of that and count to the 4th block out. Place a mud brick wall there. Next one will be way over on the right side. Hold on, let me fly over there first. And yeah, it's the same thing actually over here on the right as the one we just marked. So if you kind of just trace along, and you'll find it's the 3 rows of 2 and then this row of 3. The rightmost block you'll count forward by 4 and place a mud brick wall. The next one, is it off the corner again? It's close enough. I guess if you take this right angle again to the right, you'll count left of it by 2 and forward 1 and place your wall there. And then the final one, if you're tracing along here, just kind of pay attention to the amount of blocks, because you'll have this row where it's 4, and then after that it'll be a row of 2. The left half of that row of 2 you'll count forward by 3 from and place another mud brick wall. So that should be 6 trees by my count. And these are the same as trees that we've made 100 times over. So each mud brick wall you're extending up by 3, forward, up 2, forward, up 1. And I'm going to do that part first. So it's 4, 3, 2 are the total for the rows. So you see row of 4, and then in front of that off the top block I'll have a row of 3. In front of that off the top block I'll have a row of 2 that are extending up each time. And yeah. And these are going to be the last trees we'll have to make for the atrium, at least. Oh, Monty Golf. Oh, no. Oh, I just remembered Monty Golf. Oh, God. Off of the top wall, you'll place a waxed weathered cut copper block, which will extend in each direction by 1. Just got to make sure that it's blocks, which it is, yes. Off of each of those blocks, you'll kind of extend out with a slab, down with an upside down slab, and then out from a block, or out with a block from that upside down slab. In each corner between the blocks, you'll have slabs with upside down slabs below them. And then down diagonally, or I guess diagonally out rather from these slabs, you're placing more blocks. And then you know the drill. Each side of the top mud brick wall, except for the back, you're placing decorated pots and then crouching and placing glow item frames off the underside of those. Hopefully those trees are good enough. And yeah, if you need that explained again, you can always just rewatch that particular part. I don't really feel like explaining it again, to be honest. I've explained these trees plenty of times, I think. I seem to do it different each time, though. I'm just now noticing because of the way that I placed that one, or built that one. But I don't know. Yeah. I don't really have anything to say here. I really think once we start to fill in the ceiling, it'll feel like we're getting close to being done. Like, that's kind of the point for me, right? To be like, yeah, okay. I feel like we're getting somewhere. But I feel like even with that wall, I mean, it definitely is starting to feel like, as you're looking around, like from this angle especially, where I'm building this tree and looking forward, it looks pretty close. Which is always nice. I love getting close to finishing these massive tutorials, or these major ones, just because it really, like, it starts to feel really anticipated to hit that finish. Especially with something like this that I knew would be long, but I didn't think it'd be this long, you know? Like, it really... Oh, I didn't fill that one out. Did I not fill this one out either? I did not... No. Right, because it has to... It would end up being not even, I guess, but basically even. That's not really a great explanation. But anyway. And then again, FNAF World is actually surprisingly, like, I don't think it's going to be next, because again, I still have Baldi that needs to be done, and that I'm going to prioritize. But FNAF World is not going to be that far off, I think, from the time you're seeing this. Hopefully you'll be getting a tour fairly soon for that, because I'm, like, almost done. Anyway, there should be your trees. You can clear your inventory and get out the following. You want prismarine walls, prismarine blocks, where? There. Andesite. And andesite slabs. Sea lanterns. And spruce trap doors. There's two kinds of lights going on here. We're going to start with the ones that are different, and then we're going to do all four of the same ones at the same time. Because technically two of them are the same, but they're mirrored, but I'm not really going to count that. I'm going to do them separately. So head to the right side here, and the innermost tree on the right side, the innermost tree, yes. Take the bottom mud brick wall, which is this one, in case that wasn't obvious. You're going to count to the fourth magenta concrete to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you're going to count forward by 2 and place a prismarine wall. In front of it, 2 prismarine blocks extending up, and then off each side of the bottom block, you're placing more walls. On top of that second prismarine, you're going to place an andesite block with a slab in front of and to the left of that. Extend the slab down with an upside down slab, and then join those upside down slabs together with a block. Extend the top andesite block, both right and that same one back as well, and then place upside down slabs underneath those end ones. In the kind of center of, well, I guess first what we're going to do is connect these upside down slabs together here. Sea lantern on top, andesite slab on top of that. Off the right and back of both the top and bottom slabs below and above the sea lantern, you'll place spruce trap doors open up against them, and it should kind of give you this aesthetic. There's a diagonal light. The other one is just diagonal the opposite way, and then the other 4 are not at any sort of diagonal, they're just normal. Let's head to the left side and this innermost tree again. And you're going to take the bottom mud brick wall and you're going to count to the left from it by 4, forward 2, prismarine wall, block in front with another block on top, wall off each side of that bottom block, and a side block on top of the prismarine block, a slab both in front of and right of the block, upside down slab below either slab, block joining those upside down slabs. You'll then extend the original andesite you placed both left and back with upside down slabs below those. Join those upside down slabs with another upside down slab, sea lantern on that one, andesite slab on that, and then you'll have the spruce trap doors open up against the front and left of those slabs. Which will give you this. I don't know why they just point at the wall, but they do, so. Let's mark the other 4. We're going to mark the, like, center prismarine block. So, if we head all the way left to the, again, we're going to use this doorway as our example with the door here. Take the top right, I guess just trace up from the top right sandstone wall, holy. And you're going to count right by 3 from that, and then transfer to the top half of this block, so you're looking down. Count back by 2 and place a prismarine. The only other one is if you take, or at least on this side, is if you take the, again, this like innermost tree, you want to take this bottom mud brick wall, and you're counting back by 3, so you'll be kind of in this corner. And then from there, you want to count to the right by 7, prismarine block. Again, we're going to take this inner tree on the right side now, and I'm hoping and assuming that it would be the same where you're counting back 3 and left 7. Let me confirm. Yes, so back 3, left 7, block. And then the final one will be, I guess, between these 2 trees. It's going to be... If you're looking at the magenta kind of below here, you have these 2 longer rows. You're going to take the shorter of those 2, which is the right side, and you'll just take this top left magenta of it. You'll count right 1, again, look top down, and then count back by 2, prismarine block. For each of these blocks, I'll explain this twice probably. Prismarine wall off of each side but the front, and I'll do actually 2 at a time, yeah, sure. You'll want an upside down andesite slab in front of the prismarine block, and then from that slab you'll place an andesite block on top and then a slab on top of that. Take this slab and extend it, the top slab, extend it back with an andesite and then a sea lantern. Why am I doing it like this? Whatever, it's fine, we'll get there. And then both on top of and below that sea lantern you'll place upside down. Or you'll place an upside down andesite slab below the sea lantern and a regular one on top, sorry. Then extend the prismarines up by 1. Don't know why we didn't start with that, but we didn't, so. Off of the sides of the, like, front bottom andesite blocks and off the sides of the sea lanterns, you'll place more andesite, which will almost make it look like a winged plane or something. Not quite, though. From the, like, top back block, you'll place an andesite slab in front with an upside down slab below. The frontmost block you'll just extend forward by an additional 1 to almost give the light a little bit of a tail, not that that's what it is. And then for the slab above and below the sea lantern, you'll place a spruce trap door open up against the kind of inside of it against the wall, or closer to the wall rather. There's your lights. Again, to reiterate that one more time, I'm going to start this time by bringing the prismarine up by 1. I'll place walls off each side of the bottom prismarine except for the front. Because on the front I'm placing an upside down andesite slab with a block on top and then a slab on top of that. Bring the top slab back with an andesite and then bring that andesite back with a sea lantern. Have an andesite slab on top of the sea lantern and an upside down slab below it. Place an additional andesite block off both the left and the right of the sea lantern, along with this like original andesite that we placed, which is behind the, or in front of rather, the top prismarine. Off of the, or I guess in front of the block either side of the sea lantern, you'll place a slab with an upside down slab below. Place a block off of the front center, and then you'll have the spruce trap doors open up against the... Okay. Open up against these slabs above and below that sea lantern. And there are your lights. Nice. Now we can start filling in really just a major chunk of the ceiling I want to get done here. So if you clear your inventory, just get out blue terracotta, that's all we'll need. And head to the right side to start. And just before the like right angle corner, if you look from above, I think this will be a little bit easier. You'll see this like L shape almost right here. To the right of that, you'll have a row of 2, and then right of that, you'll have this long row of magenta. We're going to end up taking, from this long row of magenta, if you take the third over, so first is the corner, second, third, you'll just place a singular blue terracotta for now. I'm actually going to tell you to place one on top and then remove that one, because I'm realizing that the ceiling is technically above this. You'll see, we'll have to extend the rest of the magenta up just a little bit, but it'll just start here. And I'm actually going to take this blue terracotta and I'm just going to bring it all the way forward. And my hope is that it'll... Where would it'll tuck? I think it'll tuck, or it'll just like run into this sign here. It should cut off like a smooth quartz like that. You can kind of see a smooth quartz square. It'll just take off one corner of it. And if you are counting the ones that you will end up cutting off, you have this one, which is half cut off, so smooth quartz. This one over, which is black, smooth quartz, black, and then this half a smooth quartz. So 1, 2, 3, 4, I guess technically 5 still. On the other side, we're going to, from the back left of the... Hold on, I'm trying to control 2 things at once, and my brain is not comprehending. Okay. From this, like, left side, this back left, you're going to do almost the same thing, actually. If you take this right angle of magenta, this one, you're going to take the long row here, and you're going to count to the, in total, the 6th magenta. So first is this corner, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and you'll have a blue terracotta up diagonally from it. And then, again, I'll extend it all the way forward. And it should hit that checkerboard pattern again. In pretty much the same spot, actually. It'll take the corner, or it'll just hit the corner of a black, so you would fully cut that one off, at least for the top half. And so that would be 1, 2, 3 is how many you're cutting, because it's this black, that smooth quartz, and then this, I guess, half a black. So 2.5 if you want to be like that, but I don't want to. These rows of blue terracotta you want to bring as far over as you need to fill in the outer segments of the roof. Leave the middle open, don't touch it. Just outside of these lines you're filling with blue terracotta, and in line with them and whatever else you need. I'm going to see if I can slash fill this. I'm probably going to need to do some things, though. So basically what I'm going to do, and here's a fun little trick to slash fill. So I copied that corner. I'm going to head to the end of this row, and I'm going to do slash fill, copy that coordinate in, and I think I shifted down a little bit, so I'm going to want to make sure that I'm not shifted down. So I'll do slash fill, that coordinate, then I'm going to copy my current one, paste it in, I'll do blue underscore terracotta, and just keep, because I'm scared. And so if you have the issue where it doesn't fill, you can essentially, like, work midway into the wall and do the same command as you're, like, standing, you know, maybe halfway or something. And the reason that actually helps is because it'll load in more chunks. Because of the simulation distance being the problem, essentially, you know, you're this chiseled bookshelf. If you're on the corner of the square, it's only going to get this much, say, loaded in of it, but if you're in the middle, it'll also get that side, so it loads in more. Sometimes it won't work, but if you guys have been following the Backrooms project at all and have been seeing the streams of me building that, you'll see that end up taking place a lot for some of the fills, and that's how we're able to get like 30,000 block areas rather filled with one command because of that extra bit. So yeah, just a little bit of a pro tip. And I'm gonna do the same thing here. I don't think I'll need it, but sometimes it is weird with the way that the chunks load. Oh, that was a lot more blocks actually, dang. But yeah, there you go. There's your outer portions. The only other thing, well, I mean, not only other thing, but one of the next things that I'm going to have you do is take the inner row of blue terracotta and extend it up by 3 on both sides. This will set us up to start the next layer of the roof. We're not going to, but when you fill this up to 3, you'll end up in line with that top row of gray on the front. That's really the only point of interest I have for you, so... Yeah, I don't think we're going to start marking the lines across or anything yet. I just kind of want to get a lot of this filled up and figured out, but I don't even think we're going to do the blue yet. Because the blue is a bit complicated. Well, I could maybe mark it. At least mark the distance of it across, and I can explain what's done, because I think we have enough time. I mean, we're at about 35 minutes. So, you know. I'll see. But either way, I mean, there's been a lot of filling for sure in one part, but don't worry, that's not the end of it. We still have the worst part to fill yet. Which is the dome roof. If you guys are at a point, by the way, right now, like, if you can fit this much of the atrium, you're good. If you're ending up, like, because I've seen a couple people say they're close to height limit. If you're at this point and you're at height limit, as long as you can fit one more layer above this, you can just fill the ceiling flat. If you really need to. Or what I'm going to end up doing is once we get to the dome, let's say you have to cut it off like halfway or something, you absolutely can. Like even me right now, I'm a little bit high up there. I'm not going to hit it. Like I still have 180 blocks, but you know. This magenta on the back wall, you can just bring up an additional 4 layers to match the height of that blue terracotta and really everything else actually. But again, yeah, you really shouldn't have an issue with it. Or maybe if you... Like, if you're at 300 for the top, you're not going to be able to fit it, but... I don't think the dome goes higher than, like, 30 blocks, so... Worst case, it happens, but... I wouldn't dwell on it too much, because, frankly, it's not a huge deal. And I don't think any other location will be affected. The only other one I could think of is Roxy Raceway. But that starts from the bottom floor of the atrium, so it might be close, actually. I don't know, I haven't gotten to the point where I'm at marking the raceway that much. Who knows? But, yeah. This thing is certainly tall, though. I will say that. You know what? It is funny. I'm thinking about it. Excluding skyscrapers, I do think this is the tallest tutorial. Not including the lobby even, but I don't think the lobby would change anything, because I don't think it goes lower, if I remember. That's wild when I think about it. Out of everything I've ever done, like... You know, I'd love to just, like, empty out an atrium and just kind of fill it and see, like, what I could fit inside out of tutorials. Like, could I fit the old Playco in here? What are the odds? I feel like I could. It would definitely fit height-wise, but I don't know if it would... It'd have to go that way. Like, long ways, but I think it might. I don't know. If anyone's bored out of their mind, feel free to test that, because that actually sounds really funny. I'm curious what that would look like. Anyway, you should have this. Wow, that wall looks so sad and bare. Next thing we're going to mark is more blue terracotta. Head to the far back, and we're going to mark this a little bit differently. Well, not really, but if you take the... We're going to start with the left side. You should have this point where you have numbers, yes. You have a row of, like, 2, and then 2 rows of 4. Actually, it's a row of 4 and then a row of 5, sorry. And you want to be on the first of the, like, really long rows in the center here. It's the center 5 rows. You're going to be on the furthest left one. And if you're on this top left magenta, you're counting right by 1 and going right. You're placing 4 blue terracotta like so. To the right of it, just for bearings, you have 6 magenta. I'm not going to bring that across just yet. I'm going to bring it across once I have the other side, which should be the same rough position where you're on this outermost row of the longer magenta, and it is actually the exact same. You're taking the outer magenta, counting in 1, placing 4 blue terracotta, and then you'll have the inner 6 open. And each of those blue terracottas you're bringing all the way forward. And this will actually split our ceiling into the segments that we need, which is good. We'll have the dome, we'll have the sides, and we'll have whatever else. I might save the dome for last. I think I'm going to. And the reason I'm going to is because I think it's least important. But we might end up... Well, that's hard, because technically the full Jumbotron actually connects to it, so we might not be able to do it last. Because I'll need the dome to be able to figure out where the Jumbotron sits. Presumably. I say presumably because, again, for the point of any of you who can't actually fit the whole dome, I don't want to use that as the main point. So I might find a side beam or something that I could build down off of and do it that way. But we'll see. I'm not so sure yet. But we'll do one more quick thing, I think. And then this part will be over. Which is going to be just filling in the inner blue and then kind of just figuring out how our walls need to behave beyond that. Because this technically is starting the dome, but not really. I guess not even a dome, it's more of a tunnel. So, the blue terracotta innermost rows, you're extending up by 3. And as far as I'm aware, you're not touching anything else. And when you actually bring the blue up, you can bring it on top of these walls a layer. I would recommend it. You'll see why once we hit that point. Because the dome tunnel thing will essentially go further than the walls. I don't know why, but that's what it does, so... Yeah, it'll just be nice to fill on top of the walls so we can kind of remember to bring that further, and just so we already have it brought a little bit further. Even though it's 1 block on each side, but you know. I probably won't give you the exact amount I brought it either. Once we hit that point, I'll just give you like an estimate. It's somewhere around 20. Spoiler alert. But yeah, if you don't want to hear me, that's the end of the part, so you can leave. Might as well tell people that you gotta... on a time crunch or something. I swear I saw a block placed. I'm going crazy because I missed a row here. Hold on. Back it up. I only filled 3. Somehow. It's exciting. How do I manage that? One can wonder. Anyway. Yeah. And I think we'll start next part with the blue of the ceiling, those like outer areas, and then we'll start marking all of the cross beams and stuff. Because those are one of the more annoying things left. Yeah, I'm trying to think because technically it would be ideal to be able to structure block to fill the tunnel, but if we do the beams first, we wouldn't be able to. If that makes sense. Because some of them, I don't know if it's all of them. Here, let me actually just check. No, it's just the center one actually goes up, but we'll see. Oh, it does connect to that beam, so we can actually use that center beam for the Jumbotron, which is fine. But anyway, once you're done that, ladies and gentlemen, that is part 29 of your security breach atrium complete. It's looking pretty finished so far. Again, still a lot of details to go on the roof and a lot of things. There's each like cross beam has lights on it. Some have got like speakers and more sophisticated lights. And then there's another more sophisticated light, and there's the Jumbotron, there's the tunnel, but I think that's everything. Just off the top of my head and from what I'm just kind of scanning and looking at real quick. Anyway, thank you guys for watching what you guys did and enjoy this video. Have a fantastic rest of your day or night, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.